You live rural enough where your neighbor is not right next to you, and you own some animals, you have some animals, and you just gotta recognize that you're gonna have other critters come on to your land, and you have to think ahead about how are you gonna mitigate that so that you keep your animals safe and you keep those animals away. All right, Raccoon is dead now. The question that I've been thinking about lately is and I'd really enjoy if we could start, some comments about this in the comment section below. But the question really is if you're a homesteader, if you're a rural person that lives rural, if you just have those animals, should you own a gun of some kind that's more powerful than your kid's BB gun? Should everybody own a gun that is able to take care of things that need to be taken care of, or should you always be looking for a different way of mitigating that, of taking care of those situations? Yeah, just make sure to leave that comment below. Also, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're into the homesteading thing, into rural living. We do a lot of different videos here, and this is a real life here on the homestead. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video if you like it when you're through watching it, and check out the other videos here. So let's get on with what's going on here. Just a little bit of back thought of what happened earlier. So yeah, let's go back. This is what happened earlier in the day today. This is the kind of the complete story and background. Yeah, Teddy was barking like crazy a while back. Lincoln, our son, came down, and inside the barn that we're in right now, he told us there is a big old coon in the barn, raccoon, and Teddy was all over that. So this is our first dog like this. Teddy is our first livestock guardian dog of any kind. I don't know what their normal predator, how they normally deal with that, but Teddy, the way that Teddy controlled the situation is he cornered the coon, and he did do quite a bit of damage to that coon. You can see I got a .22 rifle here, and the coon, he didn't kill the coon all the way. The coon is close to dead, or is really hurt. So what we're here to do is put the animal out of its misery. And I don't know if normally they would completely kill it or discard it or drag it into the trees close by, or how they take care of those animals. But in this particular case, he did not kill the animal completely. He just basically made it so that animal can't do anymore, and acted after that. Teddy acted like nothing happened. He sat outside the barn, laid down like there's no big deal. Then when we came back in here, he came in once again. He circled the coon, barked loudly, and went after it and attacked again. So instead of just keeping that going on, we're gonna take this gun and put the coon out of its misery. And so all that to say that living on a homestead, it appears that we need to have some kind of gun available. And I'm not a big hunter or animal. I don't hunt at all, really. But in this case, I can't just have that coon in our barn gonna die anyways. So we need to do something about that. And so I'm gonna shoot the animal, and I'm gonna get it off of our property. And coons are plentiful around here, and they wreak havoc on our chicken coop. And for us, the whole thing about having a livestock guardian dog is he barks continuously at night. He barks all the time. Come here, Teddy. Come here. He barks a lot, and that just keeps the critter. It seems to keep the critters away, and that's enough. You know, just they don't come in. They don't control. You know, that bark, that presence seems to control, and we don't have to do much. But it seems like we're gonna maybe have to start live trapping around here to just rectify some of the raccoons coming in and such. We definitely can't have them in our barn. We got a lot of feed in here. We've got critters in here now that it's chilly. So we feel like, yeah, he did the right thing. And that's kind of what we expect him to do and what his place is here on the farm. So as far as having a gun on the farm, we've never had one on the farm so far. And we feel like now is the time that we need to make sure that we have some kind of gun to be able to take care of these situations when they arise. And they're going to happen as you have animals around. Different animals are going to approach and come along, and so you've got to be able to protect what you have as well. You know, we're not against raccoons or whatever here. In fact, you know, Bethany has great stories of when she was young that they actually raised a few of them, sort of tame. Like they would, you know, maybe they lived really close to a highway, and you know, oftentimes raccoons would get hit by cars on the highway, and they would find like their young, and so they would like feed them and raise them up, and eventually they wouldn't be around the property anymore, and they would leave and go, you know, wherever they went or whatever. And they were just always into mischief. I just remember, like, you would come up to the house and you would look up in the tree and there's a raccoon there. And they did, you know, they were like sort of nocturnal, the ones that they raised, but they weren't like completely, you know, they would sleep a lot during the day, but they were super playful, super curious, just as raccoons are. I mean, raccoons are actually really cool animals, but they can be really destructive. They can carry rabies, right? That's something that a lot of people are really, you know, we're worried about. We don't want our dog to get rabies. Rabies is you know, I believe it travels through the saliva. So if the raccoon bites the dog or whatever, rabies can travel through the saliva. It can also travel obviously through the blood. So if you do shoot a raccoon, make sure to get rid of that animal. As far as I understand, as soon as the blood cools down and there's time behind it, it doesn't live very long. So, but yeah, you got to be careful of that. Excuse me, you got to be really careful of roundworm. The feces in a lot of raccoons have roundworm, and it travels through their feces. Here's kind of an interesting thing about raccoons. Like, if you know, there's 6 different species of raccoons. Didn't know that. That's pretty cool. And one really cool thing, why we love to watch raccoons, why we think they're so cool, is I'm sure you've seen videos where the raccoon is washing with their paws and they're just touching everything with their hands. The front paws of a raccoon are really just, they have 4 times more of the sensory than the back paws. So that's why you always see them like in there washing and touching their food, because they're actually seeing what their food is with their hands, right? They're feeling it. They're thinking, oh yeah, that's food. And that's why they, you know, at night, that really helps them, because they can feel things out with their hands. And because their hands are so dexterous, and they can pick things up, and they can hold things, and they can roll things, and they can turn things, and they can rip things and do all these things with their hands, they can tell what's in their hands. And when it's food, they eat it. When it's not food, they seem to want to just drag it all over your lawn and make a total mess. But they're just so fun to watch because they're so amazing with their little front paws, right? Well, another thing is a little fun fact that you might or might not know, but I thought was really cool, is there was actually a raccoon in the White House. Grace Coolidge, which would be Calvin Coolidge's wife, brought a raccoon into the White House as a pet, and you know, that might have been the first real, you know, raccoon in the White House. Although, actually, it seems like there's been a few critters through there since. But anyways, raccoons, they've been in the White House. That's a pretty neat deal. But raccoons are just fun to watch. They're like, everybody loves little raccoon videos, and they're so curious, and they're just amazing little creatures. Not always little. They're actually, I mean, check out this guy. He's walking around with a raccoon on his shoulders, going into the store, and goes and buys something, and as he walks out, watch the lady try to like pet the coon right on the back. Oh man, people are crazy. But anyways, raccoons, I mean, they seem like they can be really, really good pets. They can be really, really fun, but they're actually just, and I think they really can be, but they are really just, they can just wreck a lot of things, and they can get into a lot of trouble, and they are carnivorous. They do eat meat. They will eat chickens and such, easy prey if they need to. And you know, it just seems like once they find your place, it's hard to kind of keep them off. We have found that on our place, we can live trap these animals and do a relocate or whatever we need to do there. They're really easy to trap because they want to go into, for our place, they want to go into the chicken coop is where they want to be at. So we just put the live trap by the chicken coop door. We put something shiny, something that's really, really effective if you want to live trap a coon is to put a pool ball, the cue ball, the white one, inside of the live trap. And it sparkles in the moonlight, and it just seems like with that white, they can see that it glistens in the moonlight, and they will check that thing out every single time. And it's heavy, and so if they try to lift it, they have to go in to figure it out. And so it's really, really effective to trap coons. I mean, anything sparkly, anything that's reflective definitely works, but the pool ball works really, really well. Just side note, but you can live trap these guys really easy and relocate them. So really, overall, what we've kind of come to the conclusion here is, yeah, we're gonna have a gun on the place that we're able to use to make those decisions that need to be made. And in this case, it was an animal that was suffering and needed to be basically put out of its misery. Yeah, we are also obviously going to keep Teddy, and feel like he is very, very effective. And we've had struggles with him. If you haven't seen the video on him kind of going crazy when we had a calf born, I'll link that above. Check that out. You know, that's the real. There's a lot of comments on there that are saying, you know, we did the wrong thing. But anyways, we're doing a lot of learning together. But we do feel like Teddy is very effective on this property, and he has really come around since that time. That has been like 6 months ago, and he has really learned a lot and made a lot of improvements. And he is very effective here on this place for keeping just varmints and critters away. He barks at night. We don't even notice it because we're completely used to it, but he makes his presence known a lot here. And that's really effective, we feel like. We have a lot of coyotes around here, and we have them come through every so often, but we've never had a problem with them doing anything to the calves or to the kids for goats or anything of that nature. So we think he's very, very effective, it's just a learning process for him and for us as we get to know how to best work together. We feel like the situation overall went really, really well, and and we feel like Teddy did the right thing, and then we feel like we did the right thing after that. So that's the video for today. I know it's not really an uppity fun one, but it's reality of how it goes on rural life, on homestead. And I think that's important to show sometimes, that it's not just all fun and little fluffy ducklings running around and just kissing the cow kind of a thing. It's a lot more than that, and it's decisions that have to be made, and you have to make them quickly, and you have to be as mindful about what you're doing as you should be, and get things done. So anyways, I hope that you did enjoy this, and I hope that you will leave a comment on your thoughts on what you're thinking on how this all went down. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.